Okay, welcome back to Window Shop with us, where this is our 5th episode, and this time we are taking reader input. We got a note from a reader named Greg who asked us that he said, I would love to see one where the goal is to find a fun car, thinking Mazda Miata, Honda CRZ, BRZ, etc., for less than $5,000. Greg, great idea. So we took that and we went shopping today. Today we have Connor Hoffman, who's one of our news editors here in Ann Arbor. Tony Quiroga is out in LA. He is our director of reviews. And Joey Caparella, senior editor, also on the news team, is joining us also from Michigan, right?
Yep.
So let's just hop right into it. Connor, you have a few choices you're going to show us?
Yep. You see my screen?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So my first choice is my more reliable choice. I'm going to preface this by saying that $5,000 and kind of a fun car is a pretty hard challenge just to find something that would actually pull the trigger on. So here is a 2004 Honda Civic Si with 122,000 miles. One of our staffers actually owns one of these, Austin Irwin, and it's I don't know what year his is exactly, but I know his is the same color as this. Do any of you guys know what year his is?
I think his is a couple years older than this. It has the
2000 or-
pre-refreshed taillights and stuff.
Yeah, this one has the bigger, later wheels too.
Mm-hmm.
These are made in England. This the hatch SIs, the hatch Civics in this generation were made in England.
Yeah, there was no non-SI version of this hatch in the U.S. It was like a different Civic body style. That's kind of cool.
Right.
So yeah, it's front wheel drive, 4-cylinder. It's a manual transmission. I love this shifter here.
Like a rally car.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, or a van.
It looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's just outside of Washington, D.C.
I like seeing the factory radio. That's a good sign that it's not messed with, that the car's not messed with.
Speaking of that, it's a one-owner car.
Oh, cool.
You can tell that that's truthful because he has a screenshot here of the Carfax, which shows that it's truly a one-owner car.
What's this note that he says here that it's adult owned? What is that?
No teenagers involved in the beating of this car.
So it's good because he has the Carfax on here, which means that if I were to get in contact with him, he could provide the Carfax so I could do some research on the car and see the service records and
If
stuff.
you scroll over to the rear seat, this generation had a completely flat floor in the rear seat.
Oh, if you
What are the other rear seat? Yeah, see how flat that is?
Yeah, no hump.
No hump. Fun
Well,
fact.
the Civic was my first car. It was the earlier generation, so I had a lot of fun in that car.
Yeah, so I think this would be a pretty good reliable. I mean, it's a Honda. It's a little high mileage, but you'll get good gas mileage. It'll last you a little while. So this is a reasonable, good, fun car that you can buy. Some second options too, which is more of an enthusiast kind of car, something you just kind of buy and have in your garage, take out on weekends, and work on. And that's an MGB. I used to write for Bring a Trailer, and they used to get these in all the time. So there's no real shortage on them. They're easy to find. Usually they go for pretty cheap. Here's one that just went on Bring a Trailer for no reserve. It sold for $5,000, which is exactly the limit. It says it has 62,000 miles shown. TMU stands for the total mileage is unknown. A lot of the times these odometers kind of go out. And I think it was only a 5-digit odometer too.
Right. Yeah, they made these for almost
yeah.
20 years, I think. I think they made them from 62 to 80 in the US.
Yeah, so this is just a car, like if you just want to like learn how to work on cars or just work on a car, have it just sit there, just drive it out on the weekends and stuff. Not really have it as a daily driver, but just like an enthusiast car to have some fun with.
Yeah,
That's a
seatbelts
pretty
though. This is what those seatbelts and that steering wheel are what keep me from the really vintage cars.
Yeah, they're real. It's a 69, so it's pretty old.
I
I
know
will-
exactly what that car smells like.
I can smell it right now.
I can smell it right now.
I did some research. I found one close by to us in Toledo.
That's a nice color. I like that
For
orange.
$3,500. Yeah, I love this orange. It looks like it's in pretty decent condition. I mean, it's an old car, and just like this guy has it here, it's just something to park in your garage and just have as a fun toy.
Yeah, the pre-74s, if you go to that front shot, have that great grill. The later ones, when they had to adopt 5-mile-an-hour bumpers in '74, gained these horrible, ugly, ugly, ugly rubber bumpers that a lot of people take off. So if you buy a later one, a lot of people reconvert them to these, and that costs money. So why not just get the older one?
Right.
Look at this guy saying he would trade it for a jet ski with a trailer too. So this could be
Oh,
almost free.
Oh yeah.
Connor, do you have a jet ski with a trailer?
Unfortunately, I don't. I'm not allowed. But another option, kind of along the same lines as the MGB, is an Alfa Romeo Spider. Very similar. It's a 4-cylinder manual transmission. Like the SI, this has an awesome shifter location.
Yes.
On the dash there. I love how it's
knob.
wood steering wheel. The interior looks like it's in pretty decent condition. All around, it looks like a pretty well kept Spider. I personally wouldn't want one in black. I would want one in either white or red. But this one just looks really clean. I like the wheel.
Is there a shot of the back of it?
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, he covered up the plates. I don't know if it's a real California car. But yeah, this generation has this sort of ducktail. The ones after have a different design, the very last ones. This is like the second to the last of them.
How could you tell California car? What would you be looking for on the plate?
The plates are sequential. So if this was really an 86, it would start probably with a 2.
No, well, actually, if you scroll over to the side, you can kind of see from the back. Here.
Not quite.
It looks like a later plate. But anyway, it probably lived some of its life out here, so that's probably good.
You busted the price cap though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would, for this, especially if Greg is willing to spend an extra $900 for a clean older car like this, I think it would be a good option.
These are cool. They're kind of like bad Miatas.
Yeah, very old Miatas. So those are my options, either like a nice, reliable Civic Si or something like that. And then if you're spending this amount of money on a car, just get something fun to work on and just have in your garage just for weekend.
Yeah, that's a nice choice. I like that one.
So those are
Campagnolo alloy wheels like on a Ferrari.
Yeah.
$5,000 for a Ferrari. There you go.
All right, so those are my choices.
Thank you. All right, and we're gonna move to Tony. Tony, what have you got for us
Let me
today?
share my screen here. See my first choice. So the brief was, he wants something fun. Greg wants something fun and sporty to drive. This car's already been reduced by $1,000 if you look at what they wrote on the windshield.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Selling for here. First model year Porsche Boxster, 201 horsepower, flat 6, 2.5 liter. I think 0 to 60 is like 6 seconds or low 6s. One owner car, 114,000 miles. I think this pretty much fits the bill, but if anything, it might be too rational. It looks like it's in really good shape too.
I like it.
Our long-term car was actually this color. The long-term.
I like the color interior combo. It's nice.
Mm-hmm. It's not one you see every day.
Yeah, he's put this wooden wheel. I don't know if that came from the factory or not. But anyway, these are a lot of fun for not a lot of money. And you're probably not going to lose your money unless the engine explodes when the IMS bearing goes.
Yeah,
moving on.
That's been done.
I love these. This is a BMW E39 540 6-speed, 4.4 liter V8. So a big German V8, 282 horsepower, 0 to 60, I think in 5.4 was the quickest time we got out of one of these. We also had a long-term one of these. This car was also on the 10 best list, like the Boxster. I just absolutely love these. They're called Style 32 turbine wheels. The rears are a little wider. But the coolest thing about this is when you pick somebody up and they see your fancy BMW luxury sedan, it's got a big stick pointing out of it.
The shifter's huge.
Oh, it's got a car phone.
It's got a car phone.
Ooh.
Oh, that doesn't work.
Yeah, I absolutely just love these wheels. And this one looks like it's in pretty good condition. Doesn't have great tires. It's got a set of Rikens on it, but it's also a $4,500 car.
Rikens aren't so bad. I have a set of those.
They're not horrible, but it's not. This is not a collector grade car by any stretch.
Well, it's only $4,500. So.
And these also have some cooling issues. I think you have to replace the parts of the coolant system as you go along. So not an inexpensive car to keep alive, but fast, fun, and awfully cool. And this one even has the M5's front bumper.
Because it's the 540i?
No, because this guy put it on or somebody put it on.
Oh, I see.
This is the M5's bumper. So you can pretend like you have an M5. Next car. You're not going to see yourself coming and going in a Cadillac Monte, Greg.
No thanks.
This is a first year Elante in 87. Not a lot of miles. One family owned. Apparently, it was the grandfather's car. All all original manuals and service records included. Garaged every winter. These are Recaro seats on the interior. These are the launch colors too, which I kind of love. If you look at all the old photography, they're all this silver with the burgundy interior. And the bodies were made by Pininfarina in Italy and flown via 747 to Detroit for final assembly.
Wow.
So how many other cars have ridden on a 747?
Yeah, right.
Sorry, but I feel like the grandfather thing tells you all you need to know.
The
Oh.
grandfathers are very wise. They know a lot of things. And this was the $50,000 car in 1987. So it was a lot of money. It was Cadillac getting serious about going after Mercedes with the SL. But they only put
How did that pan out?
They only put 170. It didn't pan out well. They only put 170 horsepower V8, which is interesting because the block is aluminum, but the heads are iron. Fun fact.
It feels like it's got a little Radwood feel to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a Grandpa Radwood car.
That's
Now,
another car that I can smell right.
I'm getting a little weirder as I go along here, and this is definitely the weirdest choice that I'm about to reveal, which you also will never see yourself coming and going, is the Suzuki X.
Oh, wow.
A car that we put on the cover in May of 1995, and we
Nice.
said the next big thing, mini utes. Now, mini utes were the next big thing, but the Suzuki X90 definitely was not the next.
Suzuki in general wasn't.
I mean, it's basically a tiny sidekick. It's a shortened sidekick. I believe it has the same 95 horsepower engine. These are pretty rare. What's remarkable is how much it's going for. These were
it seems like a lot of money.
They were like $12,000, $13,000 cars when they were new. But I guess the rarity, and this is a one-owner one. So this guy has had to answer a lot of questions as he's driven along in this car for the past 24 years.
Probably not the kind of questions you want to hear, though.
Probably not. Decently clean. I mean, it's got, got a few miles, but it's a Southern car. It looks like it lived in Atlanta, so it's pretty free of rust. It's got T-tops, so it's basically a convertible two-seat SUV. What more could you ask for? You'll never see another one.
Formerly on the cover of Car and Driver. Yeah.
And a manual transmission.
I feel
I
like
feel like you went a different direction. Like we all were like rear-wheel drive, manual transmission, and you just.
This is rear-wheel drive and manual transmission.
Different sort of fun to drive.
This is rear drive manual.
I feel like you need to have a lot of self-confidence to want to drive this car. Just like oozing.
You'll be answering some questions. It's a great way of meeting people.
Yeah, it's a great conversation starter.
It is. It could be
Like
social.
it was on the cover of Car and Driver.
If you have like some social fears, this is a great way of exposing yourself to society.
Not sure it's the kind of people you want to be talking to, though.
You never know.
All right.
That's my 4.
All right.
I'll stop sharing.
Nice. Okay. Well, we're moving on to Joey. Joey, what have you got for us?
So I also went the BMW route. I think kind of the quintessential BMW sports sedan is the E46. I just love this design. I think it's aged really well. It has, the classic inline 6, manual transmission. This was a really nice one, so it's a little over the price cap. One owner, which is pretty hard to find. These interiors, I think, have just aged so well.
They've got great interiors. I mean, it's basically a smaller version of the 5 Series interior.
Yeah, that's nice.
I found a few others that have the sport package, which I think makes it a little more desirable. So this one's outside of DC. It's got really low miles, 77,000. I think it looks great. Seems like it's in pretty good condition. There's just something very simple and satisfying about the interior, and I would love to drive one of these every day.
I think these had rear subframe issues on some of them.
Yeah, I was looking into like the general consensus on reliability. I mean, I think with any older German car, you kind of have to be prepared to put a little bit of money into it. So in that case, maybe go for an even cheaper one. I almost thought this one was suspiciously cheap, but it looks pretty nice. $3,000 for A manual 6-cylinder sports sedan. Pretty damn good.
Hey, there's anything wrong with it? Oh, the first gear synchro.
First gear
doesn't work.
synchro, which, I don't know how big of a repair that would be, but I don't think it's a deal breaker.
You'd probably just get used to it crunching when you put it in first.
Yeah.
All
And
the
then-
gears are fine, but you must stop to put it in first gear.
Exactly. Come to a complete stop.
Yeah.
So eventually I found this one, which is also over the price cap, but it was so nice that Connor and I were fighting over it.
You
With-
found
I found it too on Chicago Craigslist.
Yeah, it's super nice. And
It's
it's,
got those unfortunate fake caliper covers.
yeah, I wonder if you could take those off pretty easily.
I'm sure you could, but
It doesn't look stock, the red.
I like
caliper.
those wheels a lot, and this one's just super clean.
Yeah.
it just speaks to the owner, the type of person that owned it.
This guy brought this car on like a nice little field trip. It's out by a water tower and an auto parts shop,
Yeah.
gas
Seen
station.
it all.
He tried.
And-
Showing some-
Is he telling us that you'll have to visit the auto parts store a lot?
Yeah. It's a red flag, maybe.
Get used to this view.
I wish you guys were around this time last year because I was looking at, I didn't know you guys. I wasn't here yet, but I was looking at these 325i's last year, and I couldn't find like a good one that didn't either smell really funny or had like a whole bunch of like mods on it that like I don't really super trust it when somebody's done put on, I don't know. I can't even remember. I test drove 3 of them, and I was just like, I opted for none of them because they were just too.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of bad ones. It's like on opposite ends of the spectrum. There's really bad ones, and then there's ones where the owner really took good care of it because they knew what they had.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe the manual ones. I mean, all of your manual selection ones maybe were more enthusiast owned and weren't just driven and beaten into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is totally an enthusiast car, so I think it would attract a pretty specific owner.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So now we go to my weird choices. I will let you know that I went a little odd because I had a different interpretation of what fun was.
Ooh, I
Oh,
love these.
that is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I've not driven one of these, but they get a lot of good reviews for, just being addictive. Look
It
at that.
sounds
It's
amazing.
crazy. It's hard to fathom exactly how small it really is.
That picture does a good job.
It fits in the wheelbase of that Ram.
Yeah. It's essentially a smart car, but more fun to drive.
Way
I
cool.
love how big they make license plates look. Like license plates, when you put them on one of these cars, just look gigantic.
Yeah.
This does look like a child's car that like was, just misproportioned. Someone, didn't know how
And
big.
those are probably 14-inch wheels that look huge on this
Yeah.
thing.
Right, exactly. The this one says that it was this guy's daily driver. There's a little bit of paint fade on the back, but he really liked it. He says it smells like a 90s Honda, which I'm not entirely sure what he means by that, but
Mm,
He wants $5,000 for it.
yeah, there's another one I found, this importer. This is about $4,000, $499 too. They're just supposed to be super fun. The convertible. The only problem is that they are right-hand drive. This
Yeah, I don't
A little
love
bit
that.
over the price range, but the interior is much nicer than the
I
first.
don't like shifting with my left hand, and I don't like having all that extra car to the left of me either. I can never get used
it
to
would
it.
definitely take getting used to. It's kind of like those MGs where it's like you would only really take this out on the weekends occasionally.
This
Yeah.
has that great 3-cylinder turbo engine with like 60-some horsepower, 66 or something horsepower from 660 cc.
Something small, yeah, super
It's
super.
a
small.
9,000 RPM redline, I think.
Can you go to the interior picture that shows the floor mats? Because those are original floor mats with that stripe pattern, with
Ooh.
that
Nice.
tiger stripe pattern. And I think the seats at one point probably had that pattern on them, and somebody's refitted them with leather.
Actually, I think this guy
As the original. Oh,
on
he's got
one side on the right. There you go.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly it, Sharon. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my odd beat one. That's
Odd beat. There you go.
There you go. Offbeat one.
Offbeat.
And then this one I would actually sort of semi-seriously consider. This is a 2011 Taurus show. So like I know that Taurus gets a bad rap, but the show in the 90s was like, super popular until they like, just watered it down and killed it. And they came back with it in 2010, I think, or 2011. Like,
I think 2010. Yeah.
yeah, it's a really super fast car.
It's like 300
turbo,
horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's
5 seconds or 5.2 to 60.
That's really
Now
quick.
it's so big it doesn't even fit in these pictures.
They are very large cars. This one looks like it has a replacement engine too.
It does have a
Oh.
it has a slight miss, but the mechanics have said, just drive it.
Oh my God.
No problem.
That's Craigslist boilerplate.
This might be why this car is $5,000 because there's really
it's
nothing
cheap.
else in this price range on this car. The other nice thing about this, though, like Connor's car, this guy also would consider a trade, but he's looking for a tractor. He does not need a car or a jet ski. He just needs.
Well, maybe Greg has a tractor and a jet ski.
There you go. It's a free
You can get
car.
2 cars, yeah.
Get 2 cars.
There you go. So yeah, I really like. This is one of the few cars at this price, well, not this price range, but at the price range it was originally sold at. That you could be going 70 miles per hour and just hit the gas and get up to 100, and not even really feel it.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever done that.
Definitely.
Not speeding.
No,
But-
they're quick, and that engine still serves Ford to this day.
Yeah.
Great.
3.5
They
eco.
put that engine and everything.
This one might be kind of questionable though. There's probably a reason why this one is $5,000, but it would be kind of fun. So, okay, with that, it's time for us to do our verdicts.
The verdict graphic.
The verdict graphic, you guys can see it, right? Because often I put this up and only
I can see it.
it. Okay. All right, so we're gonna run through. Everybody gets to pick one of their cars, and we're gonna decide up, down, or neutral. Connor, which one of your cars are you gonna pick for us to?
I'm going to go with my more reliable choice just because it's the one that I would actually pull the trigger on. So I'm going to go with the Civic Si.
All right.
I'm going to say thumbs up. Can't really go wrong with the Honda.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of neutral on it.
It's a little boring.
It's a
Not
little too safe.
It's reliable. It's got a manual. You'll get some miles out of it.
I think Greg is looking for more fun in his life.
True.
Yeah.
Although he did
So
say
you would maybe want to
CRZ.
go for the MGB or the Alpha.
Yeah, you did put up some really cool other options. I'm surprised you went with this one. All right. Well, yeah, I think I'm kind of flat on that one too. All right, Tony, what are you going to pick?
I have so many great choices, but I think I'm going to go with the 546 speed to counter your 2 sedans. You and Joey both had sedans. V8, manual transmission,
yes.
super
I like
fast,
the
beautiful
39.
car.
All right. I think I'll say yes. Although the sedans are a little, I feel like they're a little boring when we get to them. It doesn't look super exciting.
This one does.
All right.
With that M5 bump.
The M5 bumper, yeah.
All right, Joey, what are you putting up for judgment?
I think I'll put up that gray 325i with 77,000 miles. It seemed like a good deal.
I'm going to go iffy because I would take that black one that I also found. I just thought
Yeah,
that
the
one.
one in Chicago was really nice.
But the low miles, the gray one is good too. So I'll probably do thumbs up.
Yeah, that looks like a good find.
I'm sort of like with Connor. I like the black one, but it did sort of violate the price cap of $5,000.
Yeah,
You probably could get them down a little bit.
Yeah, just negotiate hard.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna put up the Honda Beat because, like I said, the sedans kind of bore me a little bit from the outside. So
Honda Beat's very cool.
9,000 RPM red line. It's,
I would not buy
thumbs up.
that car.
Is it
All
the
the
right-hand
ones, I
drive?
think I would buy the Beat of all the ones that we've looked at.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
you-
I might look for one for a little more than $5,000.
But I think you guys talked me out of it with the left-hand drive issue.
Yeah, it's not ideal. You're right. That might
You don't want
bother
to be
me.
sitting on the right. It's kind of weird. I think you'd never really fully get used to it.
I agree, Joey.
Yeah,
Agree.
I think I'm thumbs down on that.
But
All right.
it's such a
Well,
cool car.
But it's an amazing car.
thank you guys for joining us again. Please, if anybody watching, if you guys want to send us some more suggestions of things that we should shop for, we obviously enjoy the heck out of it, and it's a good way to pass our time. Also, we added a new feature up in the corner here where it says information. You can judge yourself for the choices that we made and pick a winner for yourselves. If you'd like to send us an email with some suggestions for what we should shop for, send it to editors@caranddriver.com. And we will see you again. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.